Tea time. Yeah, so we're just decided to make a quick video on Amber's response, as promised. We had hoped that the entire court filings would be out by now, on Sunday, 2nd of June, but unfortunately they're not. Because of our own personal commitments, we can't make a further video for another couple of weeks. This morning, The Blast released an article basically summarising Amber's court papers.
Yeah, and the link will be in the description below for that. And that article seems to just like focus on one aspect, one accusation made by Amber, which she stated that she felt that Johnny Depp clearly perjured himself, claiming that there was only one 911 call reporting his abuse on the evening of May 21st, 2016.
Johnny never said any such thing, alright? What he did say was, I.O. nearly 2 hours before calling 911, contrary to his initial statement that he called 911 when he heard her screaming, "Help me, help me."
Let's go on a journey through all time, a time that's changing all the time, it's time to go to time.
Yeah, just as a reminder, I.O. stated in his refinery article that he made the call to 911 in a split second. Now, the surveillance footage from the apartment block places Johnny as leaving the apartment at 8:30.
So he's in the elevator, there's no disputing that. He's leaving the building at 8:30. Prior to that, before he left, he went into apartments 5. He says that he just went in, found some people he'd never met, running a business.
I got a job.
Really? What kind of job?
Beads.
Bees?
Beads.
Beads?
Running a business, rent-free in his property. He told him to get the fuck out, but, well, something to that effect. I would do the exact same thing in his position. So once again, it wasn't in a split second. It was at 8:30, so at this point, Johnny was in the elevator, leaving the building. It had been at least 10 minutes after Amber screamed, "Call 911.
There are 2 calls. First got a call about someone named Amber being assaulted by a boyfriend, but that person refused, whoever called, to give further information.
No, it doesn't say who called, who made that call.
No, I think it just said friend.
Yeah, so...
No name was given.
I know Johnny also did question, he obviously pointed out the exchange that I.O. had with some fans on Twitter a few weeks ago, in which he now all of a sudden introduces a second person who made another call. So that was the only thing that Johnny ever called into question. That, my friends, is not perjury.
Yeah, I believe that Amber's team deliberately have mixed up the timeline to try and create confusion, because it certainly did confuse me, I'll admit.
Time is important, and I am a clock.
If we run out of time, then where does it go?
Is time even real? Does anyone know? Maybe time's just a construct of human perception, an illusion created by...
Yeah, they seem to take Johnny questioning the one call that I.O. claimed to have made, and they deliberately misinterpreted that.
And what it actually then says in their own evidence, it says, if I may just... Teletype from NYPD, ACAD, female stated she was on the phone with her friends, she began screaming at her husband. Now, firstly, from New York. So I.O. has admitted he was in New York. In 2209, teletype from New York. So I.O. did,
10.
yeah, I.O. did call at 10:10, which was nearly 2 hours after Johnny had flown the coop.
And a very interesting description there. The description stated in the call logs that the person began screaming at her husband. Weren't we expected to believe that Johnny was the one screaming at her, giving a full-blown narration, what if I do this, what if I do that?
Yeah.
But it states on the police call records, and this is from Amber's team, basically stating it was Amber screaming at her husband. So they either put her down as being the aggressor in that conversation, or by refusing to give any information on the first call.
Well, deliberately or otherwise, whoever it was refuses to give information for whatever reason. Well, if this mystery person is ever deposed, they might
well, they will have to give their identity if they are deposed.
Exactly.
And if not, then it's just down as hearsay, because unless that person can state it themselves in court, then that won't be considered in the case. That'll just be considered as hearsay. So yeah, they're trying to like put forward this narrative that Johnny was somehow denying the existence of the first call, the one that was made at 8:30.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense because the two officers that responded to that first call were deposed by Johnny's own defense.
Yeah.
So they clearly acknowledged that it happened. Do you think it was a blatant attempt to try and cause confusion instead of coming back with any actual rebuttal of any substance?
I just read this and I was like, okay, I feel abused by Amber Heard. I feel my fucking brain has been abused by Amber Heard with this fucking stupid filing. And secondly, she's just abused Johnny Depp again by insulting his intelligence. I mean, why in God's name would he be so fucking stupid as to contradict his own star witness, who happened to be a fucking cop? She says in her testimony, submitted by him, that there were 2 call-outs.
Yeah.
And he has never contested that.
And again, I will put in the caveat that at this recording, this article is the only thing that we have that's out there. Some more stuff could come out later, but that's besides the point.
There will be.
We can only work with what we have right now. So they're trying to put forward this narrative saying, "Oh yeah, Johnny Depp is clearly a liar. We're gonna make everyone see this lie that he told." But what they're more or less doing is they're more or less putting the focus on Io's original lie.
Yeah.
He stated that I rang the police in a split second to save Amber's life.
Yeah.
Now, a split second to me is not an hour and a half.
I don't think it is to anybody. What's interesting is that she accuses Johnny Depp of perjury over something that she actually says is irrelevance, when in reality, yeah, she's not accusing him of perjury over saying that she was abusive to him, that she was taking drugs and drink.
Yeah, which would suggest that she has no legal grounds to contest that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
the way she kind of phrased it, even this perjury thing about the call, like it was very deliberate. She's saying that, you know, we made 2 calls.
Yeah.
So she's basically grouping herself and Io as one unit.
Yeah.
And when you phrase it like that, yes, it can be seen as the truth. But
Yeah.
Johnny was not questioning them, he was questioning Io, as were other people, and Io's reaction was to have a meltdown on Twitter and block the people who were questioning her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why would he do that if he was telling the truth?
That's the assumption I'm working on.
Or her and her hoax assistant friend called them.
Yeah.
So more than one person, anyway. Whatever. And she's lumping herself in with them.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
That's my opinion, that they deliberately misinterpreted that statement from Johnny's response.
Of course.
In order to try and accuse him of perjury.
Yeah, and it's a really
based on their interpretation.
And that's a huge burden of proof. But you know, they are really far-reaching in the fact that their own evidence actually supports what he's saying. The only way I could see Amber and Io responding to this is now maybe just say, oh yeah, but that actually was Io at 8:30, but he didn't give his name, they didn't mention New York for some reason, and then he called his friends, then he called back again from New York.
Time is a ruler to measure the day. It doesn't go backwards, only one way. Watch it go round like a merry-go-round, going so fast like a merry-go-round.
Like, that'll be the next thing. But we expected to believe there was 3 calls to 911 now. It's like a 3rd friend, a 4th friend. I mean, how many times can you change the story? The bottom line is Io contradicted himself. So therefore, with each contradiction, each direct contradiction, you become less credible.
And when you contradict yourself under oath, that's perjury.
Yeah, exactly.
If a tabloid website has access to the full court filings and that is the only thing that they see as suitable for writing an article about, then one can only assume that it's a pretty weak response.
Yeah.
But this response is essentially like the last of the responses. It's now the next step. The judge is going to decide on whether or not this case will be tried in Virginia or moved to California.
Yeah. So, anyway, have a good Sunday, everybody.
Yeah.
Enjoy tea or whatever you may or may not be drinking right now.
Yes.
And we're going to the pub.
Yes.
See you later.
Bye.
Best of luck.